And good afternoon, and welcome to Expose Under the Sun, sponsored by the Detroit Native Sun newspaper. I'm your host, Darwin Griffin, and we've got another half an hour of great information. And if you would like to join in on the conversation, you can call in. Our calling numbers are area code 313-868-0342, 313-868-0351, or 313-868-4336. And our website is www.tv33whpr.com. And you are watching us live from the awesome city of Highland Park, Michigan, and the auspices of the Honorable Hubert Yap, who is the mayor. And again, we are sponsored by Lemon Burn, so if you would like to get an opportunity to go and lose a little bit of weight, but also regain the energy that you may have had before, you will be able to regain the energy and you'll be able to lose a little bit of weight. So we want you to go into the 2020 new year with a great spirit, good health, and we want you to go and make certain that you let somebody else know, especially what I tell everybody every week, that you love them. We are joined by a couple of millennials today. I know everybody wonders what that term means when we say millennials. We got millennials, Generation X. But we've got a couple of millennials that'll be on the show today. The young man to my right, his name is CJ, and the young lady here is English with an I. So I want to make sure that we get that right. English with an I. Yes. So the thing is that CJ has a company, and his company is called Not Again. And English has a company, it's entitled Millennials versus Everybody. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yes.
You got it.
Okay, yes. I would love to go and have you two to go and tell a little bit about and I'm going to start with ladies first.
Ladies first, yes.
English, tell a little bit about Millennials versus Everybody.
Okay, cool. Thank you so
very
much
welcome.
for having us here
Yeah.
today. My name, yes, like he said, is English with an I, and I am the CEO and founder of Millennials versus Everybody. And Millennials versus Everybody is a membership-based social enterprise. We empower and equip millennials with intellectual tools, professional resources, and civic engagement opportunities to lead greater lives. So we hold fireside conversations, workshops, group events, parties around the city of Detroit just to engage millennials and to get them involved.
Now, what got you started?
So what got me started? So I went to undergrad at Bowling Green State University, and while I was an undergrad, I was super involved on my campus, and I always felt like there were resources and workshops and things for me to do to sharpen my personal and professional growth. Mm-hmm. And so after I graduated, I did some traveling. I went to South Africa for 3 months, and that was life-changing and so enlightening on what I can do in the scope of social justice work, of community work, and I was really trying to find my way. And so I was talking to my mom, and we were talking about Millennials versus Everybody, kind of just like as an idea, something fun, but when I heard it, I felt inspired and empowered, and I thought, well, what is something that I need as a millennial right now? And I was thinking, I need personal, professional, and civic development. I want to be around millennials who are doing great work. You know, now that I've graduated, I'm back home. Like, how can I continue to grow myself personally and professionally? And so I thought, hey, Millennials versus Everybody is so much more than maybe a t-shirt or a cup or something, but it is inspiring. It's a movement. And so I started Millennials versus Everybody, and it's been great.
Okay. Well, there's a couple of questions I'll ask and throw it to the both of you.
Yeah.
So, CJ, tell a little bit about Not Again.
Yes, Not Again. Like she said, thank you so much, Darwin. This is awesome. So Not Again, it's a social movement development group. And what we do, we strategically get our community members, business owners, and political leaders involved to help transform our community. Our first initiative is our 2020 Fresh Vote Initiative, where we're going to schools to get our students very aware about voting and the processes there are, and then give them the power that they need to actually vote. So we register them at school. And that's where Not Again is kind of like finding their legs. We're a new establishment, but we're very active and very eager to just make that change in our community.
Now, I'm going to throw this at both of you. English, CJ, why is it important for millennials to get out to vote?
English, you got to start. You got to start.
Man, what? Okay, it is super, super important for millennials to get out. We have the power to swing the vote. Yes. We are such a huge generation, right? Yes. And we do have so much power. And so I think it's important that we realize that we have a duty to give back to our community, to make sure that the generation behind us still has the blessings and the resources that we were able to have. This fight has not finished, and we must continue to go. And it is really a responsibility of ours, and our vote and our voice matters and can make a hell of a difference.
Yes, yes. And it's like in the wake of Martin Luther King Jr.'s holiday, you know, when we think about his journey, he started at 21, like a young man out here making change. And that's why I think it's so important for millennials to get involved, because we might not really truly see the impact on the world that we're making, but by practicing great habits like being involved politically, voting, and being aware civically how you can make a change, we will make that impact on a positive life that we can all live. So it's important that we do it for those to come. That's why it's important for millennials to be engaged.
Now, you mentioned about yesterday being when we celebrated Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. What did MLK Jr. mean to each of you?
I'll take this one. Because Martin Luther King Jr. he's the reason why I'm here today. Because just knowing he was such a young man faced with so much adversity, but he still took the onus on himself to make the difference. I was inspired. I was honestly just, I couldn't come up with an excuse in my life to not go out and give more to my community. So Martin is the catalyst for my life. He's the catalyst for the passion that I have to see better in communities everywhere, and that's what he is. He's my inspiration.
English?
Yes. Wow. Martin Luther King, he is definitely a leader for me to learn from, and who I have learned from. I appreciate his intelligence, the way he's able to present himself as a speaker and to use nonviolent action in what he's doing. I think that is a phenomenal example of what we can do by being unified, by being positive. And Martin Luther King, he didn't work by himself, right? He had a community of people to help him do what needed to be done, but he had a tenacity about him. He was not scared. He did what was necessary to do for his community. It was so much larger and bigger than himself. And so I most definitely appreciate that. And those are characteristics that I feel like have just fallen onto CJ and I.
Definitely.
Well, now CJ, tell how the business owners can support this presidential election.
You see, that's a great question. Businesses, they like such a focal point in politics, not only in Detroit, but just in general, because they're that vehicle that provides us with the funds to honestly get our jobs done. So how can businesses help? With their spaces. Business owners that have stores, locations in general, they can provide a voter registration space, a voter registration station, as I would like to call it, for people that aren't registered to get registered to vote. That's the first thing. Second, they have funds within their establishment that can be used to drive change in our community. So however they can donate to a grassroots organization, that can make a big difference. You know, and thirdly, using their structures for advertisement, because voter awareness is key. Now, Darren, me and you had the pleasure of speaking with Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson,
Correct.
And she just told us all these great things. And what she also mentioned was that voter awareness is the most important part of our campaigns, because most people, they want to be a part of the voting process. They just honestly don't understand it, and they might feel like they can't be a part of it for many reasons that honestly might not be true. Like she said, people believing you can't vote due to criminal history. So like that's one thing that we can debunk, and that's how business owners can play a strong role in the politics.
Now, English, tell the listening audience, tell in terms of, say, when you look at the impact of the vote, if somebody says my vote doesn't matter, how would you respond to something like that?
Wow. Well, first off, I respond to them saying that that is not true. Your voice in your vote does matter. Actually, I do come across kind of like questions or concerns about things such as that, where millennials don't understand how policy and politics and voting directly affect their lives, right? And so that's why Millennials versus Everybody, we are putting together a political series to educate millennials on voting, getting registered to vote. How does policy and politics directly affect them in their community? And then thirdly, what can you do about these things? You'll find that millennials are passionate, we're driven, we care about the community, right? We have a servant heart. However, when there's the education or the platform about how do you get involved, if it wasn't for me going to college and having to take political science and African American history and having the privilege to do these things, I would not know myself. I wasn't taught in high school. I mean, and of course, like I had family and friends to let me know, but there really wasn't structure to say, hey, this is exactly how politics affects you in your community, and here are some things you can do about it. And so me recognizing that people are passionate, that we do care, however, the relationship of how do I get involved? Does this really matter? That's unclear. And so that can be, people can be educated about those things. So that's the good part.
Yes.
So tell then, English CJ, how does somebody get involved?
Yeah. Okay. For me, I love making money. So that's where I'm going to start. The best way to get involved right now in 2020 within the trifecta, you got to get paid, get volunteer somewhere, and get hired on. Because the census, they're paying like $25 an hour.
Absolutely.
Like, you got the presidential election. So many political parties are funding programs to get awareness out about their candidates. I say get a job. That's how you get involved right now for a young person. We need money anyway.
Yeah.
How would you say, English?
I would say in addition to the census, there are so many organizations and nonprofits out here who promote ways for you to get involved. For example, Moses is one of them, the nonprofits that I work with. So you have to be intentional in seeking and self-sufficient sometimes. So me too, I was at one point where I didn't know about politics or how to get involved, but because I had that want, what did I do? I researched, I went out in the community, I met politicians, I met people who were actively involved and figured out, how can I learn more about you? How can I identify with what you're doing? And if there is a millennial out there who is looking for an opportunity, definitely tap in with Millennials versus Everybody, because we are releasing this political series to make sure that millennials are involved, that they know what organizations to connect with, what nonprofits that they are able to connect with. We're creating a platform right now.
And I also want to just jump in and say really fast, with social media and internet, you're already involved. Honestly, post on Tuesdays. I'm such an advocate for being politically engaged on Tuesdays because it develops a tradition within our community. But let's use our platforms. Let's use internet.
Most definitely.
So now, when you use the social media platform, how do you do it? What do you do?
Today, like this is the first day because we just left from a really hot political meeting last week. I was engaged today by posting on my Facebook a live video, also links on how people can register to vote. That's a great way to use my social media platform because people can just click on there, register to vote right then. And that's anybody, anywhere. 38 states made it legal, so within those 38 states. And then also just that video though, that has access to all the states. So you can, who knows who's inspired by that? Share, share, share. That's how we get involved on social media.
Most definitely. Share, get engaged. There's so many articles that are out. If you're really we Google everything, you know what I'm saying? So I think that if you have a concern about anything, you can definitely Google them, get in contact with the people in your city. Like, it's so many opportunities really just to tap in. It just has a lot to do, with wanting to know this information and actively seeking to do the things to get active in this work.
Yes.
So now, if somebody was interested and wanted to get in touch with you, English, or UCJ, how would they go about doing that?
English? What's your contact?
Well, my name is English with the I. So on Instagram, I'm English with the I. On LinkedIn and Facebook, I'm English Reed Jones. So that's INGLISHREEDJONES. And millennialsversuseverybody.com. Tap in with us. There's definitely going to be a political series rolling out so you can figure out how to get involved, not just civically, but also personally and professionally. So contact me there.
Yes, and also you can contact Not Again via our website. That's notagainllc.com. Also, you can just hit the business line. That's 734-799-2358. Or if you're on Facebook, perfect form, you can find us. That's at Not Again LLC.
Now, also too, now tell a little bit about what really separates you, English, and you, CJ, from some of the other social media type groups that are out here doing similar, because a lot of times people talk about we shouldn't be doing these things in silos, but they're trying to get people to do them collectively.
Yes.
What are some of the collectives that both of your organizations are involved with?
So this is definitely a collective.
Most definitely.
And we have a millennial-driven approach. That's what we're forming. We're forming a collective of millennial leaders that want to be involved politically, within business, and we're having that push. So what makes Not Again different from other grassroots organizations is we strategically work with business owners and community members to get them focused on how we can engage the community. So with me being I'm a tech guy, so I love anything graphic, anything to do with websites. So I use those to launch my platform. So engaging with apps and developing music and TV programming to engage those minds that I can put on videos and just release them. I believe with Not Again, our movement can be done in a day. I believe we can change the world in a day using internet. And that's my goal. That's how we frame it. We want to provide access to anybody, anywhere within our 50 states. And that's what's going to make us very different.
For Millennials Versus Everybody, we have a 3-point holistic approach to millennial engagement and involvement. So what we typically do is we use a T-shaped model, meaning that we go out in diversity and down in perspective, in depth. And so sometimes when I go to events or different organizational programs, I don't always feel like there's enough depth or diversity and perspective. And so that's really important to me that millennials have an opportunity to grow holistically. So we don't just focus on civic engagement, where we're just like kind of pulling and taking from millennials. We also believe in empowering and building millennials up and equipping them. So we not only focus on civic engagement, but we focus on personal, professional, and civic development.
Yes.
So now you've got great ideals for today.
Yeah.
5 years, 10 years from now, where will MVE or where will Not Again, where will you be at?
Yes.
What will you be doing?
I
Great
love
question.
that you asked that. Because, I mean, with 2020, with our 5-year plans and our vision boards, that's all we've been focusing on. And for Not Again, we're definitely we're going to be playing a strong digital front because media is so important. If we can write our own narrative, we can change this world. So what you can see in the future is Not Again TV. You can see Not Again apps. You can see Not Again on streets where you can just come up to these digital boards and get informed about what's happening in your community. How can I volunteer? How can I get a job? Just right there at your fingertips where you're walking in your communities. I can see us on the Livernois Avenue of Fashion in downtown Detroit. This is going to be something radical, something revolutionary because our approach is very technical, and what we're going to do is provide access for anybody across all 50 states to be able to get engaged politically. Right there at your fingertips, right up the road from you. Just go, stop, register to vote. Boom. Easy.
Love it, love it,
Okay.
love it. What I would say for Millennials Versus Everybody, which you will be able to see us being is millennials' favorite network to connect them to the resources that move them forward. Whether you are a millennial and you're trying to start a business and you want to make sure that you're civically engaged and you have all the tools that you need, MBE is your one. If you're thinking about, wow, there's so many problems going on inside of the world and I don't know what nonprofits or what organizations to trust, MBE is your one. If you're trying to figure out, hey, I want to get engaged, there's so many things that are happening around our world as far as our girls, the things that are happening in Australia, like there are problems everywhere. And so when you're ready to activate, you will come to MBE. We hope to open up a brick and mortar, allow a more support group atmosphere of millennials to come together, whether they're working on business and professional development. Mental health will be much better amongst millennials, and we will definitely be able to activate strictly from millennials versus everybody.
Now, let me throw this question out at you two. Now, how would you, English, inspire young ladies that may have an interest in being more politically involved or community involved? What advice would you give to a young lady right now?
Well, actually, right now I'm working with a group called Wisdom Warriors Project. We're actually having an event this Saturday from 9 to 3 at the Torch of Wisdom Foundation. That's in Southfield off 9 Mile. Essentially, the conference is titled Who Am I? And the conference is meant to inspire young girls to reach inside of themselves, to learn more about themselves, to express more self-love, and then in turn give that to their community. So we're teaching them how to have more philanthropic mindsets. And so what I would do is for any young girl who wants to get more involved and have higher self-esteem, I really would start with changing their narrative too, and recognizing that they are in power of their narrative and how they want their story to be written. I would say get out there and get a mentor, but remember self-love. Never forget whose you are. I mean, I know everyone has different faith, but just those affirmations that you are powerful, that you are spiritual, that you can do it, that you are a beacon and a spark to this world. I think sometimes just hearing affirmations, knowing that you can do it, and seeing a different narrative is very important, because sometimes there's negative narratives or Bad Girls Club shows or Love and Hip Hop and all these things that do not promote beautiful girls rising and in leadership and love. And so sometimes we have to change the things that we see and that we incorporate in our brains, and read more and get around our elders and people who are doing great things.
I like what you said. Get around your elders.
Yes.
Talk to.
Wisdom
but
is
also
important.
At the same time, too, read books.
Read, yes.
And then lastly, something you said, too, is people don't need to forget whose they belong to.
Amen.
Okay. CJ.
Well, I gotta go after that.
Hey, but we had to have ladies first. So
Yeah.
go ahead.
We did.
What about the young men? From your perspective.
And our young men, we definitely got to encourage them. So
Yes.
what would you say?
Yeah, I love your English answer. Now, with guys, we definitely have a different approach. And I would do like my mentors have done for me, like Mr. Hester Wheeler, Darwin, Pastor Reverend Glenn McIntosh, and so many others. It's like I would want to see them put the rubber on the road and help guide them there. I know young men in our community, young boys, they want it. They want to do it so bad. So all they really need to do is just be put in the right position and then just watch them just go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I want to do. I just want to install them. I want to say, you can do it. Here's how you do it. Write it out for you. Here you go. Like, let's make it happen. And that's what I want to do. I want to be that catalyst for them. Like I said, Martin was for me.
Yeah.
So
Give the one word, CJ, that best describes you as a person.
you do this to me every time. I'm a giver. I think that describes me. I'm a giver, and I would give my all for my community.
Now, English, what would you say? Your word that you would best describe you with?
I would say optimistic, because that shows the joy and the going forth and the positive attitude that I carry with me every day.
Now, let me throw this last question at you both, and I'm going to ask you, because you two are working in a collaborative, doing some things together.
Mm-hmm.
CJ, what encouraging words would you give to English? And English, what encouraging words would you give to CJ?
So cute.
I guess I'll go first, maybe. So
And we've got only 1 minute left.
He would do this, and we got time to English, you are doing it. I would tell you, like I tell you all the time, keep doing it because you're already doing it. Keep walking on your path of excellence and prosperity because you are victorious.
Thank
so
you.
walk in it.
Wow,
Yeah.
I appreciate you,
Now,
CJ.
English, you can go behind him. Go ahead.
Okay, CJ, what I would tell to you is that you're a king, you are a God, you are amazing, you can do anything that you put your mind to, and not again. It's going to flourish, and you will create the space to allow young men to flourish.
Hey, thanks. Partner for life.
Now, see, we got our young millennials working together.
Amen,
That's
yes.
the important part. So it looks like our world is going to be left in some great hands with the two of you at the helm.
Yes.
So
you.
great. I appreciate you both coming on the show
Thank
today.
you.
I'd
Thank
love to have you
you.
come back again.
Most
Definitely.
So
definitely.
just real quick, give your contact information again, English.
English with an I.
Yes, Charlie Frank, CJ, y'all can find me at notagainllc.com.
Millennialsversuseverybody.com.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I definitely appreciate you being on the show. We'll definitely have to invite you both to come back again.
Yes.
This
Thank
has been a
you.
great half an hour, and if you would like to go and contact the Detroit Native Sun newspaper, you can pick up a copy of the Detroit Native Sun newspaper at the local Kroger supermarkets. And if you'd like to advertise in the Detroit Native Sun newspaper, you can contact Ms. Valerie Lockhart at area code 313-457-5944. Again, that's Valerie Lockhart at 313-457-5944. And I just want to leave you with, definitely make sure that you listen to young people and you hear what they are saying, because there's a lot of wisdom in their words. Again, this is Darwin Griffin. I'm signing out. Peace. Tell somebody you love them. We're out. See you next week.
My name is Watson.
And my name is Mariah.
We're 12 years old.
And we're representing Old Redford Academy Middle School.
And we're here to talk about drugs.
Drugs are very dangerous and unhealthy.
And they can also ruin a relationship with your loved ones.
Go talk to a family member, a friend, even a teacher, or you can go to a therapist, or if you need any extra help, you can go online and find all of those.